Hello, everybody. Welcome. I have yet to see the Silent Hill 2 remake story trailer, so let's check it out together. I am a huge fan of the series, for those who don't know. I've played most of the games at least a few times through. Silent Hill 2 specifically, I've played, gosh, it's near around 10 times at this point. But I've also seen the story of it like even more than that. So this is one that I'm incredibly passionate about. I also, at one point during my university days, wrote a research paper on this one, kind of a critical analysis of how they represented childhood trauma. And that was eventually published in an undergraduate lit magazine at my college campus. So you could say that this series, especially this game, has a lot of meaning to me. I can go on and on about how much I love the game, the story, the themes in it, and really its depictions on like how if we're not given the chance to heal from trauma, it can really be destructive to those around us and to ourselves. So I'm excited to see how this trailer goes. I've been told that it looks pretty promising compared to what we have seen in the game so far. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Let me get a quick little swig of hydration, and then we're going to get started. Let's go. Drink your water.
James? Honey? Did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else?
Ooh, wait a minute.
You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Okay, so I don't mean to I'm not going to try to pause too often through this, but I just want to say real quick on an initial note from this, I will say even though her voice acting is quite different than what we're used to, I still think the tone and the delivery of that still feels very similar. Like I still think it does the same, still has the same intended effect. So promising so far.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful.
Ooh.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. You promised you'd take me there again
This is
someday.
looking really good.
But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place.
Just put the gun to their head.
You can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
You should see your face, James.
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
Eddie looks so unhinged. I'm here for it.
This place is different from what I remember. I don't think she's here anymore.
This whole town. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
You said you took everything. But you forgot that videotape we made.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So you are Maria.
I am. If you want me to be.
How do you know about Mary?
I might be a little nitpicky, but there was something
You
about
see
that I
it
didn't
too?
like.
For me, it's always like this.
Doesn't matter who I am.
I am here for you, James.
I liked that line delivery though.
See? I'm real.
Okay. I think altogether, this was a very well done story trailer. As far as how they're handling the story, my faith in how the game is going to go is, I'm not going to say renewed, because I never really necessarily lost hope in it, just because I feel like with a game as beloved as Silent Hill 2 and with how critically acclaimed it is, it's like being like the best one of the series, they would catch some heat if they did too much to change the story. So I feel like that would be like a risk that it was not really worth taking with making a remake like this. So with what I've seen in this story trailer so far, I have faith that the story is going to go well. I think the one thing I will say, the way Maria was sitting in this chair. Let me go back to that.
How do you know about Mary?
Do you want?
This, yeah, it's so very like, hello, James. Hello, I am your wife, but not your wife. Hello, I am here. That's the way she's sitting is very, I don't know. It's a very different tone from what I feel like she takes on in this scene specifically. And I know I said I was going to be a little nitpicky, but there was a line right here, the way she delivers this line compared to the original, that I was not as much of a fan of. So this is when, like James is trying to be like, wait a minute, like you're talking like you're my wife, aren't you, Maria?
Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So there's something about that line and the way she delivers it that's so, again, like I said, I'm being nitpicky about this, but it's mainly just because I feel like voice acting performances can really change the tone of a scene depending on what direction they're given or how they deliver it. And I'm not saying the voice acting's bad by any means. I think it's still good. I think just given what Maria's character is supposed to be like and the intention behind this scene, I don't prefer it to the original, because I think the thing about Maria that I really like the most is though she is supposed to be like this figure, this person that is like born out of like what James wanted out of his wife as she was dying, but like is also meant to torment him by still having all of the flaws and all the things that like the things that he didn't feel he could get from his marriage while she had the disease. Maria, for all intents and purposes, is her own person, even though she was born out of this desire that James had. So I think in this scene is when she really grounds herself as like a very distinct person. Like she's not Mary. And the way she delivers the line in the original is more defensive. She's very much like, I'm not your Mary. Like she like spits out the line. It's very much like you can tell she hated the fact that she's being compared to Mary. In this one, she feels almost more apathetic about it, which, okay. I think it, again, still works, still is not like, again, not bad as a performance. It just, to me, changes her character a little bit in this scene. And I don't know that I prefer it as much. But again, that's me nitpicking. So the game itself could still be very good. Her, the voice acting performances regarding Maria could still be really great throughout it. But that scene particularly hit me because I was like, I really like the way she delivered it in the original, because it had a very distinct purpose and it really read a very specific way to me. Other than that, I gotta say, I like what we're seeing here. I really like what we're seeing. There's something about the way they designed Eddie. I think given the technology we had back in the PS2 era, you weren't really able to like get as many facial differences in how he looked when he was delivering lines and saying things like throughout his journey. But yeah, there's very much like a lack of connection to his surroundings that I think really is more apparent here, that I'm really liking, because such a huge part of his story is like his just detachment from any sort of empathy or toward other people and other living beings, because of what he had went through. So I like what we're seeing of Eddie so far, and I also am really liking his line delivery through this. It does feel very, again, just like almost the fact that it is dead. Let me like replay this line real quick, just because I actually liked the way he did it.
Place.
Just put the gun to their head.
Like it's pretty similar to how the original goes, but like to me it's almost a little less animated, which I think still works for his character, because again, like such a huge part of his story is how he just has now a complete lack of empathy. Doesn't care whether anyone lives or dies. It's just very like, oh, okay, you are completely unhinged, detached from reality now. Great. So I think that to me, this reads as a little more disturbing than from what I remember.
You can't just kill someone because the way they looked at you.
I like James's voice acting through this as well. I think I'm liking the way he's delivering lines. So I'm excited to see that as well. Let me go back to Angela's. Laura's performance, I think, is also promising so far.
This place, you might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
Her personality is very much there. It's very similar to what we got in the original. So I'm here for that. I want to go back to Angela's. I'm still iffy on Angela as far as her voice acting goes. I think the way that, let me just replay it just to make sure I collect my thoughts.
This place is different from what I remember. I don't think she's here anymore.
Okay. No, I'm not. I don't necessarily have a problem with it.
This whole town.
I don't necessarily have a problem with her voice acting. Her performance is one I'm more willing to wait and see as we actually play the game and go through it, because I think the way her voice sounds in this one, again, can still serve the similar purpose, but with a different tone, because her story is so surrounded around being like the victim of, some of the worst abuse you can go through. So like her voice kind of being this level of like almost emotionless, sort of like almost deadpan, like could still work. Granted, the line delivery across, her performances and her scenes, I think could still read similarly to what we got from her in the original. But I will say overall, this story trailer, I think, has renewed any doubt I would have had about the games. I think it did kind of renew it. I think I'm going to have a fun time playing through this game. The gameplay does look like it's going to be refreshing compared to the original. And if you like tank controls and all that, then like great. Happy for you, but I'm not a huge tank control fan. So that part, I will agree with that. For anyone who's watching on YouTube, by the way, I'm also reacting to Twitch chat here. So if you hear me like respond to things, there are some Twitch chat comments I'm making as I'm recording this video. By the way, yeah, if you want to catch anything live, I'm typically like do a lot of live stuff over on my Twitch channel. So don't forget to follow me there. Link should be in the description. I will say though, I do like that she reads more like a teenager. She definitely does look a lot more like a teenager. And I think that's going to help us sympathize even more with her story. There was an argument that I saw around the web that abuse can age somebody, and that's why the way she looked in the original like still made sense, and I can agree to that. And I'm not necessarily going to say that like there's necessarily like a huge problem with how she looked in the original, but I will say the fact that she does look a lot younger in this, to me, I think will make her story a lot more sympathetic. So that I'm excited to see play out, because I'm incredibly excited to see her performance in the staircase scene. I'm really, really excited to see how she does with that one, but also just her performance overall is full of nuances in the original, to the point where I'm excited to see how this voice actress does it, just to see like what their take on it was. But yeah, overall, I'm incredibly excited about this game, and I'm looking forward to playing it when it does come out. So thanks for watching, everybody. Feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this. I also do go live here when I am playing Vigi games, but also all my social links are down in the description below. So definitely follow me there so you don't miss any content from me. And I will see you in the next video.